You know, there's nothing like cracking that cellophane and pulling that record out. It just smells great.
Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Non-stop hardcore energy.
I love the show, guys. You're awesome.
Unlike any other.
With your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bod Father.
Man, this stuff rocks.
Hi, this is Becky.
Hi, this is Eric. We're from Dystopica, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, aka the Bod Father, and as always, I bring you guys and gals awesome interviews. But before I bring on my guests, please get out to YouTube and support BODS Mayhem Hour. Just click the notification bell, click subscribe, and that's it. Keep up with all these great interviews that is coming up for BODS Mayhem Hour, and you definitely want to do that. My guests for today, welcome Becky and Erich from Dystopica, and they have released their new EP entitled Deception via Pavement Entertainment, and check out singles Narcissist and For You, and I gotta say this too, they did a cover of Alice in Chains' Them Bones. Check that out because you guys are going to be very surprised. Becky did her version of the vocals, and it's cool when you see bands do their rendition and they don't totally cover the song exactly to what you previously hear. I like how bands redo things. So kudos to you, ma'am. You did really good on this. So your vocals did really good on this, I think.
Thank you.
What have you guys been doing? And especially let's talk about this Alice in Chains cover. How did this come about? And what got it out there actually?
Well, actually, it was Rob's idea. He just kind of just thought, maybe like we could do the cover. And then in the studio we go to, we work with Nick Bellmore. I think I mentioned that last time, and Dexter's Lab. And he has Jerry Cantrell's signature guitar, like the Rampage. So we saw that, and it's like, now we have to do it. And then it was the anniversary of Dirt this year, so it's like everything just kind of aligned.
Couldn't have worked out better, honestly.
How excited are you both to have the second EP, Deception, out right now? Because the last time I had you on here, Becky, you guys were just pumping this out just about. You guys are writing on it or had everything already completed. But how excited are you to get this second one out already, and that amount of time too, the quick amount of time?
Well, we were working on this EP while we were working on the first one, so we're just really wanting to get this music out.
Yeah, there was less hiccups during this one, during recording this one and writing this one, just in terms of like we were trying to find different spaces, and obviously the pandemic didn't help any progression for us. So having no really obstacles this time, and we could just work and get them all out there, it was a little bit different. It was a lot more fun this time too. I think these are probably I like all of our songs so far, but we definitely have my favorite song that we've ever written, Redemption, off of the new EP. And the new ones are just super energetic, and they're very fun to play live, and they were a lot of fun to record too. So
yeah, I definitely think we found our sound with this one.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So you finally hit your stride already in the second EP, or is this just at this point in time for now?
I think we found our sound. We're still, moving forward, but I think like we really just, because before we were like, I love all the songs on the first EP, of course, but I think that we really got stronger and, really found the sound that we were looking for with this one.
Yeah.
So are you guys finally able to take a breather right now, or are you still?
No.
Oh.
There's no taking a breather.
Yeah, we like to stay busy with it.
Now we just did recently our first live show ever.
Oh.
Because of COVID, we formed right before COVID, so we weren't playing live. And we just like a month ago almost, we just performed our first live show, and it went really good. So now our second one's coming up this Saturday.
Uh-oh. Yep. Any nervousness, guys? I mean, when you took
well,
this?
No, I think I was a little nervous before the first one, but now I'm ready. So
I was very nervous before the first
we
one.
did great. So I'm like,
Yeah, this week I think it'll be a little bit smoother this week. But the last show I was definitely nervous. I hadn't been on a stage since like 2015 at that point. I was like, what if we can't do this? Like, what if I suck? Everyone's like, you'll be fine, just relax. So it ended up going a lot better than expected. It was a lot of fun. So
did you think the band would have their second EP out at this point this quick, or you did?
Yeah, because during COVID we were writing the first EP. I'm working on it, and I was like working on the second one, like while we were recording the first one. So I was already writing for that, and it's like at that point we already were working on these songs, and we just want to get them out.
Becky's
to show people.
Too. She would always every single month she'd be sending us a new hey, here's the scratch track for another song. I think we can get this one recorded probably in the next couple of weeks. I was like, awesome. So she's a machine. She keeps pumping them out.
Yeah, I don't stop.
I knew that during Perception there, you were writing on the new one, but I was thinking maybe that, a year and a half, something like that.
No.
But I mean, I saw this come out and I was like, holy crap. I know she mentioned that they were writing this, but damn, it's like, this is quick. It's like already.
Yep. Where we just I actually mentioned, maybe I didn't, but there's one song, it was For You, we actually recorded while we were recording the first EP. So that was the first one we did off of this new EP. I mean, literally, I did the vocals for that before I did the vocals for Trap. So.
Do you think that Deception takes Dystopica's music to a new level, but it keeps your sound, it keeps your original sound for the band?
I definitely think so. That was kind of what I was aiming for. I wanted to take, we have our sound and stuff, and I just really want to take all the elements and make it heavier and more progressive in the direction that I want this to go in, and I think it did that.
Yeah, I'd agree with that too. She covered most of it though. We on the same page with most of it. So
more double bass, definitely. I'd say. Yeah. Well, there's double bass in the first one, but Narcissist and stuff. Oh, yeah. All double bass.
Playing that one live is that's probably my favorite song in the set, but it is the most painful song in the set too, just for my shins.
Oh geez, I can imagine. What led the track for you to be the first song released off this EP? What was it about that said, I want that to go out first?
Well, actually, I was thinking either that or Narcissist, and the question would be if I did two, I would have done both of them. And I was talking to, because we work with Pavement and stuff, and we decided on making For You the single, the first single before the album EP is released, and I think For You is really catchy. I love it. I would say I think it has a more I don't want to say mainstream sound, but it's got a more I guess it's not as heavy, but it's also got other elements going on. Because of that, it's a little slower. I was a little nervous at first before releasing it because it's our sound, but it's a little different. So I was not sure how people would react, but people like it. So
yeah,
I love that song.
I was excited about it. I know it's like you were saying, it appeals to more different kind of musical fans, I think, where it's got that core heavy sound, especially towards the end. But the rest of it is a little more melodic, and the lyrics are, all the lyrics have super deep meaning, but I think those ones really pack a punch and more people can connect to them. So when when we were talking about it and we were yeah, let's lead with this one, I thought it was so cool because it was just, okay, you've seen what we can do on Perception. They're all their own songs, but they all kind of have the same flavor. This is our first step out of our comfort zone. Let's see how people react. So
that's what I was getting ready to say, is this a step in the, just out of that comfort zone for all of you to see what you can create and see the fans' reaction so far.
Oh yeah.
I got to know this. What goes through your minds when you see the single Narcissist? It's reached over 21,000 streams on Spotify, probably more now at the time of this interview.
Yeah.
But what goes through your mind when you see that, to see that track plus all these other tracks that are getting just as much streams, man?
I'm just so thankful for everyone who's listening and for all the great support we've been getting. I'm so happy that people love the music and are streaming it. And yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I mean, it's just whenever we like see the numbers jump or whenever we drop something new or whatever it is, it's a mix of initial, like maybe like a little bit of anxiety and nervousness because you're like, okay, how are people going to receive it? But then like just to see how it's doing so far and like the feeling that we all get of like, okay, we're really proud of what we're doing here. Like, it's just so much excitement. It's joy constantly. It's everything that like growing up, like when you love music the way that we do, like it's just everything growing up that you want. And we're just hoping it continues and keeps growing. But thankful is a very good word for it too. Anybody who listens to what we're doing or cares about what we're doing, it means the world.
But do you both like seeing that feedback, from people saying, okay, I didn't like this track so much, or I don't like a lot of this in the music? Do you like that? Or do you say, no, this is our music, we're putting this out here? Or do you kind of take that into thought of the next songs that you're creating possibly?
I feel like I do take like feedback. So, I mean, like when people say I'm trying to think, when we asked what's your favorite song on the EP, and people are saying like what their favorite songs are, like I keep that in mind when I'm writing to know the direction, sort of like, am I going to write it more in the direction of like a Narcissist type of song or more like another one or a different like blend? I mean, I kind of just write whenever I want to write, but I do like keep in mind like what am I going to put first or as a single. If people like this sound, then I'll go with that, but we have all different, because like For You is different from Narcissist, and it's like we do have, each song has a different sound to it as well, so it's like,
like we've gotten pretty lucky, I think, to start off where at least I haven't noticed it. There's not like too much negativity coming towards you. You know what I mean? Like
there's not, which is a good thing.
Majority of the reactions are people are really enjoying it. But I always like, I mean, I don't want to speak for everybody else. I think we all feel a similar way. But I always love when people come with like criticism rather than like obviously don't just come and like dog somebody, but like even then do that. That's the only way we're going to get better. We're going to learn. We're going to hear it. But when people come with criticism or like when they come and they're like, hey, like I really like this as opposed to this, or like they open it up as like, why did you choose to do this instead of this? Or like, have you ever thought about this? Like, I love that. It makes you think of things you might not have originally. It's only going to make us better in the long run too. And it's always just good to hear other people's opinions too. I mean, if we didn't, then we would just stick in the same endless cycle and we'd pump out the same few songs. And even when we're writing the music, I'm very lucky in the sense of Nick, he is a drummer. So, and he's an excellent drummer who works with some incredible acts and very well-known acts. So he's been there, done that. So when we're in the studio and I'll put like a fill in a song and he's like, hey, I don't necessarily think that's good enough. Or like, hey, maybe try it. Like you can push yourself a little harder to like think of something a little more creative or a little bit different. You did that a couple bars ago. Like it only makes things better. And it's like, oh, I might not have pushed myself or I might not have thought of that myself. So I love it. I think it's necessary.
Are any of these songs that's on this new EP Deception didn't make Perception? All right. Are there any songs that didn't make that EP that made this EP possibly?
Well, technically no, because I kind of had it planned out what I want where. For You like was the only one that I could have made Perception if I wanted it to, but I wanted to hold that because we already had 6 on that EP. So it's kind of like a good EP length, and a lot of the songs before, like we had out like demo versions that weren't good, and like I wanted to put out the like re-recorded versions, so we wanted to get all those out. And For You was a brand new song that I just wanted to hold. So
Yeah, I was gonna say with Perception, it was more of like re-recording, like she said, the demos, and then I can't remember if it was Trapped or Torn. I think we like completely revamped that one when we were.
It was Trapped, and Broken we revamped too. But Trapped is funny because Nick meant actually. Well, we were possibly thinking of not putting Trapped on Perception. The only problem is like that's kind of what the artwork goes with.
Yeah.
So you can't really hold that. I don't know what else. Like they can't go on Deception because the song says Perception in it. It's like, so yeah, but we revamped it and obviously got it on that EP.
Yeah.
So are we going to get an album finally, or are you guys just sticking to the EPs? Or because I know you're writing more right now. I'm sure you probably started writing more while you're tracking this album or this EP probably. But are we going to eventually get an album from you guys or no?
Yeah, we are. You are.
Eventually, not sure on the timeline yet, but like I said, she's a machine. She's constantly writing.
Yeah, well, I'm working on it. I will say, like, I wanted to start with EPs because I feel like to just as a brand new band not having anything out and to just drop a whole album like now, like people don't listen to full albums from just. I figure put like fewer songs in the EP, get us out there, But
got to establish the foundation.
I want to do an album.
Definitely.
And we are working on something.
I knew it. I knew you guys would be. Was there a track that the band was working on for this new EP that totally ended up sounding different than what it was intended to? I know that, was there any that you went back and said, I don't like how this sounds. Let's do this with it.
Actually, no. first one we changed a lot, but this one we didn't. Is pretty much how we, first like I wrote the song, sent them to and we recorded it and we didn't really change anything too much. Yeah. Like For You had some changes, but like nothing to drastically change the song from its sound.
Yeah. Just like little like improvements here and there, but no like huge structural or like section changes or anything like
nothing,
that.
that changed the tone of the song in any way and like made it different. Really. Yeah. But that one was the one that we changed the most out of all the songs on here. The others were like pretty straightforward.
Any songs that didn't make this EP, we're gonna see on another EP or maybe the next album, possibly, or just a one-off, maybe.
Well, I didn't have any that like I was gonna put on here extra. Like I decided on the 5, and I was like, I'm gonna do these. And actually, all the song names, if you reorder them, spell out something. So on this EP, so they all kind of go together, and it's like this is this EP, and everything else is being saved.
Little Easter egg, guys and gals.
Yeah.
Easter egg. There you go.
If you get a physical copy of it too, it actually
it's got it in there. It's a little, nothing like crazy. It's kind of obvious, but
but she's even thinking about little Easter eggs like that all the time. So
that was actually like I wasn't even intending on doing that, but then I'm like looking at the names of the songs, and it's like this is spelling out something. I just need to get this one title, and then
we were like 2 songs away from finishing it, and you came up to me in the studio and were like, hey, what if we did like a wordplay with it? And like you could just rearrange it and maybe it spells out like a whole sentence. I'm like, I've never even thought of that, but that'd be so cool.
So is that like a preview to the next one, maybe, or
no?
Okay,
that's not a bad idea, but no, I didn't get that far.
I see what you did there. I see. Little teasers.
Right.
Any track standing out more to you guys than any right now on these? I know this is your babies. I know that, but are there any that stick out for the both of you, possibly?
Well, I would say my personal favorite. I mean, I love them all. Obviously, like they're all very special to me. But I'd say my favorite, just by slight, would be "Time Is Screaming." Just because I just feel like as a songwriter, I like I want to take us in a more progressive direction. This is like a bigger step than Lost in Myself. So I'm like, I just really like the way it came out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would say probably, I think I have two. It's like kind of a constant tie. I think Broken probably edges it out a little bit more though, because that was the first song back in, what was it, like 2018 or something, that when I originally joined the band, that was the first song we ever recorded. And then it went through a couple rewrites and then it finally became what it is today. But that one holds a really special place because it was the first song that I ever did with Dystopica. And then I just love Redemption. There is so much energy in that one. It is so fun to play live. There's a lot of different set, like just drum wise, at least there's a lot of different things going on with it. It's got a little bit of everything in there for me. So keeps me like thinking while we're playing and everything. And it's just, I don't know. I would say that's probably my favorite to play live. So that's probably why.
Yeah, that's definitely one of my favorites too. And I love like the guitar riff in that one.
Yeah.
And Narcissist, I love to play live too.
Oh yeah, the energy is so high from start to finish on that song. It is pedal to the metal, 100 miles per hour, and it's the best.
It's funny though, because I'm Broken. That was 2019 that I first wrote that, and we did this. I formed the band and stuff. But it's funny because I would actually say that's my least favorite out of all our songs out.
I think I just like it. That's because it was the first one.
Yeah, I know it is. Yeah, it's just funny.
It has a lot of fun drum parts in it too, so I think I like that part about it.
Yeah, it is. It's a great song. I love it. Obviously, it's my baby, but like, definitely, like I would say, if I had to say a least favorite, maybe that one.
Mm-hmm.
So we talked about this a little bit before the interview here. What's the growth musically you've seen from yourselves working on this EP compared to the debut Perception? What has this band gotten stronger, especially writing and just coming together as a nucleus for you all?
Yeah, I'd definitely say so. We've gotten a lot stronger.
Yeah. Personally, it was like when we first started writing Perception. So I was in a band in like high school and everything back in like 2015. I had a pop punk band with some friends. And then I just stopped throughout college. Like we broke up and I didn't do anything with drums. I think I would fiddle around like on a practice pad, or like when I would go home from college, I would play my drum set in my parents' basement. But either living in a dorm room or an apartment, I couldn't bring an acoustic drum set and I didn't want to get an electric one. So I would like make a makeshift drum set out of like pillows and like my mattress and stuff. So I didn't feel as prepared as I wanted to going into all that, just because I was like, I don't know if I'm good enough to do this. I don't know if I can. Again, the nerves were just working. But when we were going into writing the second one, I was like, okay, like we started finding our groove together. We know how each other writes, what our strengths are, like how we can work together. So it just felt like more of a whole as a band going into this one. And we had like our solidified members and stuff. So we were like, okay, let's do this. I think it's also just like we didn't really play live with each other until we were done recording this whole EP. Like we didn't play every time we would go. It was like, okay, you show up, you track drums, you show up, you track guitars, Becky shows up, tracks vocals, and then that's it. And we started finally rehearsing together because we were like, okay, if we're going to play live shows, we got to see if we can play together. So it all finally came together right after the recording, I'd say, for the second one stopped.
Yeah.
But has this like fueled your fire for the love of music again though, Erich? I mean, has this like, gave you that breath of fresh air that you needed to get back into music?
100%. Music has always been, I always had two things growing up that I adored. It was ice hockey and playing the drums. From the age of like 5, was learn to skate ice hockey and then played all throughout high school. I always played some sort of musical instrument I started like piano at 5, and then I went through like 5 others and finally found drums at 13. And during high school, that was something like middle school, high school, I was playing my drum set multiple hours every single day, whether I was sick, whether I was happy, whether I was sad. It was just like to the point where like, thank God my parents are so cool, because I would have absolutely been like, all right, enough. You can't, it's just too much. But like just obscure hours, it'd be like 7 a.m. I'd be like, can I go play yet? Like I loved it. I always have loved it. So it's just nice to have that platform, get back into the scene. it's a huge confidence boost again. And music's always been like if I've ever gone through like a rough time or anything, like I have great support systems with my friends, family, and everything. But like those times when I'm alone, music is probably my biggest support system, or like the biggest thing that helps me through pretty much just day-to-day life, or like any of the struggles that any of us go through. So it was just so nice to have that creative outlet again and get back making music that I always grew up loving too. So
I want to know this, since you guys are making your own music and now you guys are on the hot seat for people who like your music now. I'm sure you guys had a lot of influences that you looked up to. How's it feel to be in that eye now, where people can look at your music and say, oh, I belong now, I can be accepted, or yeah, you know, you guys it made this song and it's my jam, I can scream to it. You know, how does that make you guys feel now to have that type of responsibility?
I mean, really good. That's the reason why I think we all do music, and we're one of the main reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I was just saying, it's the biggest way I express myself. So if anything that we had a say in like creating or producing, if it impacts somebody's life in a positive way, if it helps them through a tough time, no matter how big or how small it is, even if they're just like, hey, this is pretty cool, I'll tell somebody else about it. Like, that's incredible. You know what I mean? Anybody who cares about what we're doing and we touch anybody's lives in a positive way, that's all I ever wanted. You know?
I just think about like when I go through rough times and all the songs that I would listen to, and if my music can be that for someone, like that's all I can ask for.
Absolutely.
And I love hearing music that's sung with conviction. You know, that sung with conviction. You can hear it. They're laying it on the line. You can hear it on their sleeve, and you can tell when somebody's phoning it in. You can tell. But I love those albums and songs where you can actually hear that. And it's not just one song on the album. I mean, it's every freaking song that they put out. And I just go, wow, you know, that's hard to do. And you know, Becky, you're a lyricist. You know this. You know how hard this is.
It's yeah.
Who did the artwork for this EP? Because the artwork on this is awesome, just like Perception. I mean, these two are just, I love the artwork on both of these EPs.
Both were done by Diego, same artist. I gave him, like, I knew I wanted like the rose and spider concept, and he just put that together, and it looks amazing.
You guys worked again with Nick Bellmore.
Yep.
And he's worked with, oh my God, D. Snyder, Corpse Grinder, I mean, Hate Breed, Toxic Holocaust, great band who don't get enough recognition.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, how is working with him again on this EP? I mean, has he gotten something out of you guys that you think nobody else may not get at all, possibly?
I'd say yes. I mean, we love working with him. He's amazing. So.
He gave, like I said earlier, it's so cool. Like, I mean, you just rattled off a fraction of the artists that he's worked with and performed with. His resume is insane. The dude's awesome, but he's just so easy to work with too. Like and the way his mind works, like I think that's one of the biggest things that got my confidence back in terms of like joining this band, getting ready to play live shows again, getting ready to like pursue further releases that we're going to do. And like, even just the second EP, when we were done with the first one, I was like, okay, it's just awesome to know that like, okay, like I'll do what I can, but he's always got our backs. He's got my back with the drums. Like it's just awesome. We really couldn't ask for anybody better.
And he's brought something out of Becky too. I mean, you may think that she, you know, she can't get these vocals and all that stuff. And then you listen, it's like, holy shit.
Yeah, well, I have to say that also from just songwriting, and I from singing this and, you know, figuring out my own sound as vocalist.
Yeah.
I figured out like when I'm writing, like where I want to put all my yelling, screaming stuff, and like where's the best spot for all that, because in the first EP, like I do it, but like some of the older stuff, like Broken, like vocally was written like before I really got into all this, like, and I'm writing in a better part of my range now, I think, than at least the like broken and trapped stuff. And I did that a little bit with Perception, but I really like was able to do that more with this. And I think that made a big difference.
I know you both had a lot of music growing up, and you still have a lot of music to this day. But do you still have a go-to album or a song that you find yourselves going back to and listening to from time to time? You cannot kick it out. You have to go back and listen to it eventually.
Okay, well, I'll just say, my favorite album ever is Peace of Mind by Iron Maiden, and Iron Maiden is my favorite band. So,
there we go.
I will listen to that album forever. Like, I can listen to it as many times, and I'll keep listening to it. Some of the songs on there I listened to as a kid, so like it brings back memories of like being like a kid. Like, I used to listen to that. That and other songs, like other Iron Maiden songs, when I was like a toddler. So like they're just very special to me. And that album, I just love Peace of Mind. And I know it's got a big anniversary in 2023. So maybe we'll cover something from that.
Oh, there we go. Maybe they'll do. Maybe they'll do a tour and play the album from front to cover. From.
Oh, I don't know about that. I mean, I'd love that, but that may be too much. But maybe one song.
Hey, never know.
Bruce Dickinson is like one of my vocal idols. Like I just love his voice. So yeah.
All right, Eric, jump in here, my man. I know you're wanting to top at this.
For me, there's so much. It's just there's whatever's constantly like new, whatever's rotating. There's always something new on repeat for me. I'd say overall, my favorite band they're my favorite band to see live. Anything that they put out is phenomenal, in my opinion. I just love 4 Year Strong. And if I had to pick like a favorite album of all time, I think I have to go with American Idiot by Green Day. I know it's a lot of people think that's a little bit of a hot take. I might not be everybody's favorite album by them, but for me, that was the album that got me so obsessed with music like the way that I am now. I mean, in third grade, I got their, I think it was their Bullet in a Bible DVD, which was a live performance. I want to say they were in the UK for it. It was an absolutely massive festival that they played. And that video I would just put on repeat in my basement in third grade. I think I watched that video at least 3 times a day growing up. And I would put American Idiot on through my dad's stereo in the basement, and I would just break out a drum pad, and I would use the couch and the drum pad as like a drum set, pretending I was Trey Cool, until my dad would come downstairs and be like, "You're going to like completely destroy the couch. You got to stop doing this." Like it fueled my love and my obsession for music. So I can go back and listen to that album anytime, and it brings me as much joy as the first time I heard it. It's awesome.
You guys are making me so old, making me feel so old.
Sorry about that.
God, I remember Dookie when Dookie came out, and I love that album. It's so raw, and it's just
so good.
and I don't care what anybody says. They say, "Well, they sold out."
Nope.
No, they didn't sell out.
Nope.
They just broadened their horizons, and they saw an opportunity that anybody would take that advantage of, and I would too.
Exactly.
Sorry, and I know you guys would too. So.
Oh yeah, I would do the same thing in a heartbeat.
Exactly. So, Dookie was a phenomenal breakthrough album for those guys, and it just, to me, that's one of their top tier albums. The rest of them are good too. American Idiot for me is kind of,
That's the reaction I usually get from people.
Yeah. But now, Becky, on the other hand, with Iron Maiden, you can't go wrong with any Maiden albums.
No.
You can't. I mean, if you're a true diehard metal fan, you got at least like one album by Maiden. You have to. There's at least one album you like by those guys.
I mean, I love all of them. I just Peace of Mind definitely my personal favorite though.
All right.
You can't go wrong with any of them.
How can folks stay in touch with you all? Buy this new EP, Deception, tour dates when this happens, merch, all the good stuff from Dystopica. How can they do that?
Well, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram. Our music's on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes. Our stuff's on YouTube. Our merch is on Bandcamp, but also we have the Deception CDs are sold on Target. .com and Amazon.com. So online you can get those. And yeah.
And before I let you guys go, would you care to do another promo for my show? Eric can be on this one finally. Here's the new one.
Yeah. Hi, this is Becky.
Hi, this is Eric. We're from Dystopica, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great stuff coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here. Nowhere else, right here on BODS Mayhem Hour. Please get out and check out our Facebook page. It has that podcast link and the YouTube link that I need you guys and gals to go subscribe. Subscribe, click on the notification bell, because that would tremendously help me out. And I know the bands would like for you guys to go do that too. And also check out their stuff as well. Please, as always, check out Dystopica. Pick up these 2 EPs that they've got out, Perception and Deception. I'm telling you right now, folks, these guys and gals can bring it. They have a great core going right here. So check them out, give them a chance, and I know you won't be disappointed. So Eric and Becky, thank you so much for being back on the show. And hey, I wish you guys nothing but the best of luck as always.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us on. It was a pleasure.
You're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.